In this video, I'm going to be talking about stacks. In this video, I will show what chart patterns I see on the chart right now, where I think this could go in the next bull run, and whether or not I'm going to be buying in. If you like this type of content, make sure you hit the thumbs up button and subscribe for more so that you don't miss a video. All right, so on the chart right now, I've got it on the weekly time frame. I'm also looking on a logarithmic scale. I like looking at charts, especially in crypto, on a log scale because it helps me to see the patterns a lot better, especially when you have these crazy movements to the upside. Otherwise, it looks all smushed and it's a little bit harder to see. So I use it on a log scale. And there's a couple patterns that I see on this chart right now. I'm going to show them to you both, and they actually help one another, actually kind of confirm each one, and it fits together and actually have the same price target. So I'm really excited about this one. So the first is the cup and handle pattern. And if you've been watching some of my videos, you've seen that I've talked about this pattern a lot. It's happening across lots of different crypto currencies right now. And so anytime that I've seen that happen in my few years of trading, it seems like it gives more weight to that pattern and I think a higher probability of that pattern actually playing out. So with the cup and handle pattern, this is a continuation pattern. In the past, I've been using the reversal one, but basically this is the same thing. We have price coming up to a level of resistance, and then it starts to make a downturn, a series of lower lows and lower highs. And then somewhere around the midpoint, it starts to make a big U-turn, and then we basically go in reverse. We start making higher highs and higher lows. And with this U-turn, it makes this nice rounded cup formation. And I like to call this resistance level, the lid. So then it kind of creates like this cup and a lid. Then when it comes back up to this resistance level, we get a slight pullback. The pullback does not go below the cup. It may go a little bit below than what this kind of chart is showing. And once we have that pullback, then it goes up to the upside and continues from where we had originally started. Okay, so now that you see a textbook example, here's what it looks like on an actual chart. And so we had highs around November of 2021, and that was our level of resistance. We actually hit it for the first time in April of 2021. And then for basically a period of a year, we had these series of lower lows kind of coming around to where we hit a bottom in January of 2023. And that was the start of this bull market. And we had price come up, actually a big move in March of 2023, then a pullback. And then we've had this move to the upside all the way through April. And that basically created that rounding pattern, the cup of the cup and handle pattern. Now, where we have been over the past few months, I'm identifying as the handle part of the pattern right here, this small pullback that precedes or is right before we should see a big move to the upside. And so I'm actually really excited as to seeing this pattern right now because, again, a lot of cryptos are showing this pattern, but we are in a really good spot right now if we're looking to enter. Of course, it would have been great if we were down here getting in at the cycle low, but when it comes to getting in at the right time, right before a big push to the upside, this is a great place. One other thing that gives me a little bit more confidence with that is this bullish engulfing candle. Now that bullish engulfing candle is this big green candle right here. And a bullish engulfing candle is one that has it basically engulfs the entire previous red candle. So we had a couple red candles come down, and the body of the green candle totally engulfs the body of the red candle. Now, this isn't a full bullish engulfing candle. If so, it would have also taken out this wick up here. But this is another great indicator of buyers stepping in right at support, kind of near this 200 moving average, and I didn't even talk about, but this trend line right here, that we should start to see price move to the upside. Now, every time that you see a bullish engulfing candle doesn't mean that it's going to go to the upside. But when you have it near support and it's part of a larger pattern where you would expect it to, then it increases the probability of that candle going in the bullish direction. And so we have that here. As we know, we're expecting this handle to start to form in order for this pattern to be valid. We've got that pullback, we got the bullish engulfing candle, and now we have price starting to move. And so my expectation is that we will start to see price move in the positive direction. It may take a little while, but I would not be surprised if it starts to move relatively quickly. Now, when it comes to a price target for the cup and handle pattern, what we can do to find that is to measure from the bottom of the cup up to that resistance level, or what I like to call is the lid. And so then we would take that measurement and place it right on top of the lid near where the handle is, and then we can set a price target from there. So let's go ahead and do that. You can do that inside of TradingView by using the price range measurer. And so I will come right to the bottom here and go up to that resistance level. And that move alone was a 14x return from the bottom of the cycle to the top of the resistance where this lid is. So what we would do is take that and we would place it right on top of that resistance level. And so I'm actually keeping it where the line is, not necessarily where this high is, just to be a little bit more conservative on the price target. And so that actually takes us to about 40, a little over 40. And price right now is sitting at $2.27. So from where we are right now, that would give us a 18x if we were to buy in right now, which is pretty crazy. I know it seems like a lot, but of course we've seen this type of thing inside of crypto before. In fact, in the last bull market, from the bottom of 2020 up to the high of 2021, that was an 80x return. So it is not impossible for this to happen. So with that being said, let me show you another pattern that is forming. And so let me I'll actually keep this price target because we'll be using that in a second. I will get rid of this and our cup and handle drawing. So the next chart pattern is an ascending triangle pattern. Let me show you a textbook example of that. This is an example of an ascending triangle. And the key parts of this one is that we have a resistance level, and then we have this trend line that continues up and basically meets at this resistance level to create a triangle shape. Price will come up to that resistance and make a series of highs right near that resistance level, but also a series of higher lows until it meets near the apex of the triangle and then breaks out, typically to the upside, but there are times where it goes to the downside. And so let me show you what that looks like on this chart. So we have price coming up, obviously, to that resistance level, and then we have a series of higher lows and, of course, higher highs. Now, you might be thinking, well, it doesn't look quite like this, which it doesn't. And again, this is a textbook example, but you don't necessarily have to have all of these pivot points in order to create this pattern. And so when you look at this pattern, the main thing that I would be looking at is the series of higher lows up into the level of resistance. And we are near the apex of what would be that triangle. And to measure a price target, what we would do is measure from the bottom of that very first low inside of the triangle shape up to the resistance level. We would take that and then copy it to the top where it would break out, and that would be our profit target. And what's interesting is that that price target, that measurement is the exact same as the one we did for the cup and handle pattern. We basically came to the same spot, measured up to the level of resistance, and then placed it on top over here. So we basically have the same price target based off of each one of these two patterns, the cup and handle pattern and the ascending triangle pattern. So that's why I was saying in the beginning that these two patterns actually support each other, especially with the price target. So that gives me even more confidence in this particular price target of somewhere above 40. And the question always becomes, well, when do you think that will happen? And I don't necessarily have a crystal ball. I'm just a guy on the internet. So of course, make sure you do your own research, do your own due diligence. This is not financial advice at all, but hopefully you can learn something from me. And I think that it is possible that we could see that price come in during this bull cycle. If you ask me, I think sometime before or around 2026, end of 2025, we would see a top in the overall crypto market, maybe Bitcoin, and then altcoins would be a little bit later than that. So I think we have room. We have room. We still have an entire year at this point, over a year, for that to happen. And so we've seen some of these moves take off in a relatively short amount of time. I mean, that move there was 175 days. Even from the bottom of the cycle to where we are now, or to the high of where it's been, was 448 days. So we still have time to get there before 2026. Even if it went a little bit after that, I think we could still get there. So to share what I'm doing, I actually have been buying into stacks slowly throughout the last couple of weeks. And I think I'm going to continue dollar cost averaging, especially with this bullish engulfing candle, and just looking at where we could expect price to go if it breaks the upside and that resistance, and knowing that we should have, and we got that handle, that small pullback in the cup and handle pattern. So as long as price stays above this trend line, I will continue to buy in all the way up until 40. I mean, I'll probably take some profits before then, but I would be looking to get fully out once it passes 40. That is my main price target. So if you found this video helpful, hit the thumbs up button. If you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.